Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I had no video ready for today at all, so what are we gonna do? The most irresponsible and dumb thing that we can think of. Instead of losing our upload streak here on the channel, which any normal human being would just say, okay, we're gonna take this Sunday off, boys and girls. No, instead, we're going to open shards for the heck of it.
Well, have you thought about, I don't know, not doing that?
Even though it is a 10-time summoning event right now, I'm gonna open void shards, and I already have Coronar, who is a really fun champion, really cool champion. I hope I don't get a dupe, but I mean, I have a 10 times chance of getting him. But as I said, better some content than no content at all, even though it's really, really dumb.
Why am I doing this? Why am I here?
So without further ado, let's jump into some void shards. How are you guys doing? Did any of you open any void shards in hopes of getting one of these champions or any shards at all? If so, did you land any of them? Personally, I think that Coronar is a really cool champion, but let me just see who else is here. 10 times. You guys know me. I think that Sky Touch is one of the best epic champions in the game, so I think it's worth it just for Sky Touch. But in all sincerity, Skull Crown, Sky Touch, and Sylar are three arguably top epics in the game, top 10 epics in the game, all three of them. So three of the better void epics that you could possibly pull inside this game. And then in terms of the non-void champions on this 10X, they're pretty good. I mean, Prince, Kymar, and Ray are two kind of really good legacy champions. And then Suzerain is not good, and Skatorsis is not good either. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I think that the voids, though, are definitely worth it if you really, really want to pull one of those three epics. So we'll see who we get here. You know, you never know. Crazier things have happened than to actually pull a champion that, you know, isn't a 10 times, but that we want nonetheless. So far, not so good. We'll see what we get here. So how many of these three ladies are we going to get? Skull Crown, good for the arena, a good arena nuker, good to have her as your speed lead as well, especially if you're lacking a solid speed lead. She kind of fills two roles in one for the arena specifically. She's good for spiders as well. Faceless is a heavy nuker champion, one of my favorite non-legendary single target nukers inside the game. This ability, Ice Bolt in particular, hits incredibly hard, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown. Ignores shield and block damage buffs, as well as 100% defense ignore there on the skill. So pretty cool champion. I've actually not built him out. Dagger is another really good champion. I've actually not built out Faceless, but just seen enough of him to kind of know and went against him as well. So Dagger, really cool champion. I believe that she is a very unique champion considering that she has a 3-turn cooldown, 75% chance at landing a decreased defense, being a rare champion, but keep in mind, she is affinity neutral, so she works against every affinity. There is no weak matchup there. So you got that going for you. So keeping things moving here. I think that's still my #1 most wanted legendary. I mean, it's between Hegemon. I think it's probably Hegemon. I think I would build him into a Nukemon too. Just an all-out nuker, my best nuking gear I have, because those annoy me more than the normal Hegemons, right? Because you kind of go in, you have your game plan, you have your immunity gear, and then boom, you're dead before anything can even happen. So I'd probably build him to be a nuker on my team, at least defensively, and have some fun with that. And then Cardial, I think, is like the best champion in the game, certainly in the conversation. So he would be my #1 choice, or 1A, 1B. So far, we pulled a whole bunch of nothing here, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, right? And by the way, guys, if I do pull Coronar inside today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and, similar to last video, we're going to make a $200 donation, 100 to Against Malaria Foundation, saving the lives of children. Literally hundreds of thousands of children die every year to a totally preventable disease in malaria. So invite you guys to make a donation along with me. Last time I made a video like this where I give some of the donations to, or some of the some of the money to charity based on how many legendaries and epics we pull. It was pretty popular. I had about 100 of you guys clicking on the donation links. I don't know how many of you guys actually went through with the donations, but that's really incredible. Even if just, 20 out of the 100 actually made a donation. The other cause, as I mentioned in my previous video, I lost my brother 5 years ago who was autistic, and work really closely with an organization called the ARC, and they do a lot of kind of government advocacy and also one-on-one advocacy with family and excuse me, and individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities. So we'll be making a donation. If we pull any legendary, we'll give $100 to both of those foundations, trying to give back a little bit, add some sort of a point to this dumb video, right? Something to make us feel better about throwing our money away to Plarium Incorporated. Paragon. So we're about halfway through here. Nothing really to write home about except for the fact that we're pulling multiple Skull Crowns and multiple Skytouch Shamans, or at least one Skytouch Shaman. Skytouch, congratulations if you pulled her, guys, because she is one of those champions that when she was released inside the game, I think myself, along with a lot of other people, right? We were just like, wow, she looks like she's pretty awful with that pass. She puts fear on herself every turn. 50% chance. Scrapper I did a video on as well. I will link that above if you guys are interested in Scrapper. Is he worth building? Is he better than Armiger? Can you build him alongside Armiger for Scarab King? Go ahead and check that video out. I think the results were pretty positive for Scrapper. Better than expected, at least. Does a lot of damage. Moving right along here. We have more blues. Got Vanguard. What do you expect when you open a bunch of rares in a non-double time event, Ash?
Much of what I do does not make me cry.
I'm just hoping we get one legendary to make this video postable, right? Because then what's the point? All right, Coltar, welcome to the team. Can we trade my Coltar to my free-to-play account, please? Would do anything for Coltar on my free-to-play. It would be such a game changer for Fire Knight and Spiders, two areas where I've definitely plateaued and having not problems, but it's just slow progression, you know? But having a champion like Coldheart for both of those teams would be probably the biggest difference maker in the entire game that you could ask for. Draconis, I think he's like borderline worth building, Draconis. Another call. Oh my God! Now you're just spitting in my face, Plarium. Come on, man. All right. So moving right along, Inceptor. I think that if you guys did pull any Void shards, keep in mind that this big Void rebalancing is still coming to the game sooner rather than later. We're expecting it in the next month or two. So hold on to your Void epics, especially. Sylar, welcome to the team. Lead and Legs is a great ability. Decrease speed debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 40%. Very, very good ability on a 4-turn cooldown when booked. And it's nice because that was back in the day where you don't need 150 books to max out an epic champion, right? Only 2 levels on that A3, and boom, each one of them goes right to reducing the cooldown. None of this 0.5% or 5%, excuse me, damage increase per book. So we got about 30 left here, guys, and we are pulling exactly what you expect to pull. A bunch of blues, not getting that crazy YouTuber luck here thus far, but we still have 23 left to open. Gear Grinder, welcome to the team, Gear Grinder number 3 or 4 or whatever we're at right now. Bloodhorn, no thank you. But again, okay, there's Cor. Is he okay?
Are you ready?
Hey! We didn't get Coronar, and we donated $200 to charity, and Necret the Great, dude. I mean, he wasn't my top 2.
You got to be kidding me.
But you guys know if you've been watching the channel for a while, he's been on my wish list for a while now. Very excited to get this champion. Let's go ahead and take a look at his kit. Very unique champion. He has the 6 abilities. I think only the 2nd or 3rd champion to have 6 kind of things going on that he's bringing to the table here. 3-time hitter on the A1. Each attack has a 20% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 1 turn. This effect cannot be resisted. Okay? On the A2, teams up with allies to attack 1 enemy. All allies under ally protection buffs placed by this champion will join the attack. Allies joining the attack will use their default skills. Grants an extra turn if no enemies are killed during this attack. So, I have a question for you guys, and maybe anybody who's familiar with this champion. I'll do a guide on him at some point. But what if no allies are under his ally protect? And you don't kill an enemy, but he just attacks 1 enemy. Does he get an extra turn? That's my question. All right. Disturbing Infusion. Block debuffs, ally protect, and a strengthen buff on an ally, 1 ally, for 3 turns The ally protection cannot be removed, and that's on a 3-turn cooldown. Passive number 1. Whenever an ally is attacked while under an ally protection buff placed by this champion, places a shield buff on the ally equal to 30% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. Occurs only if the ally does not already have a shield placed by this champion. Also decreases the cooldown of this champion's Legion of the Damned skill by 2 turns if the shield's buff is placed. Legion is his ally protect. It decreases it by 2 turns, so brings it down to a 2-turn cooldown. Interesting. Plays a block debuffs buff and a 25% strengthened buff for 3 turns on an ally with the lowest max HP at the start of each round. Also places a 50% ally protect buff on them for 6 turns. Okay, so that's really where the value, because up until this passive, I knew I really liked this champion, but I'd only take a look at his kit once when he was added to the game, and I'm like, so far, not so great, right? Unsleeping Aegis. But then you get to Arise, my minions, and then that's where you have the ally with the lowest max HP at the start of each round will have that ally protect for 6 turns, and it cannot be removed. So I'm thinking like the main use case for him, as much as I'd love to have him as an arena champion, I just don't see the arena potential as being through the roof necessarily. But any longer battle, think about it. Every ally is going to have ally protect pretty much all the time, and thus they're going to be going into the Legion of the Damned, ally protect on a 4-turn cooldown. But that cooldown is going to be reduced quite a bit as well, because whenever an ally is attacked while under, it's going to put that shield and reduce by 2 turns. So you can see how the potential here to stack a ton of just damage throughout this champion's, duration of battle, I guess, right? That's kind of the potential that I can't wait to see. Plus, he has a 3-hitter. He is very slow at 92 speed, though. All right, so I'm going to keep opening some shards here, guys. Who knows? We can raise some more money. Why not, right? And in the meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and check out a Yumi Love on this dude just to take a look at his multipliers. So, Nekret, the Great Raid in the background. We'll take a look at his multipliers together real quick as well. So, on his... Oh, he was defense-based champion, too? I missed that. So, here's his multipliers, guys, real quick, as we look at blues in the background. So, we don't need this big ad. So, on his A1, multiplier is 1.3 defense. That's very low, but it's per hit, 3-hitter. On his A2, it's obviously not a damage-dealing ability. His A3 is not a damage-dealing ability. I guess that's the only multiplier that we need to know, right? He only has 1 damage-dealing ability. His A2 it doesn't have a multiplier on here, so that's interesting. His 1.3 times 3 hits. His ally attack skill does not have a damage multiplier listed. But he is attacking, right? Well, he's using his A1, I guess. I guess it just defaults to his A1. Makes sense to me. Makes sense. Okay. I really overthought that quite a bit, huh? Whatever. We still get Nekret the Great. That's freaking amazing. I thought for sure it was going to be a Coronar, and I'm like, dude, is this video even worth posting? All right, let me make some room. I'll be right back. All right, guys, here we go. So again, we'll make sure I include the donation receipts as well towards the end of this video, just to make sure I put my money where my mouth is there. And again, thank you guys who make a donation to either of those charities. They both have a, for different reasons, they both have a very close, piece of my heart. You guys know what I'm trying to say, all right? But yeah, I mean, obviously the ARC's super, important charity to me personally on a personal level. And it was actually a podcast I was listening to years ago in another life before YouTube. And there was a guest on that podcast, and he just, I forgot the whole premise in the entire podcast. It was about like thoughtful philanthropy or whatever. And he's just like, if there's the host asked the guest, if all you care about is just saving lives in this world, that's all you care about is just saving somebody's lives for the cheapest amount of money possible, what would you donate your money to? What charity? What's going to go most to the cause? What's going to actually save the most lives? That's it. Because what other thing can you do that's better in this entire world than saving a child's life, right? And he said, easy, against malaria. Insecticide, mosquito nets, they cost like $2, and they make a dramatic difference. It's hard to even believe that that's all it takes, but it's true. Anyway, guys, we have 5 shards left. I'm going to go ahead and open them on my game on. But I think this video is a great success, right? We didn't get a duped Coronar. Thank you so much for not doing that. And we got one of the best new void legendaries added to the game in quite a while. Again, guys, let me know how you did in the comments below. I really appreciate you guys watching all the way till the end. I'll come back at you with a more thoughtful video tomorrow. Thank you guys, and as always, take care, guys.